हेलो एवरीवन, वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। और आज 29 जुलाई न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस। वेरी वार्म वेलकम, वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग टू all the viewers of Unacademy Law. And as we are at the end of the week, it becomes very important that you put out certain minutes from your day, from your weekend to do revision. उसके बिना getting things done is going to be next to impossible. So therefore, I hope that today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you'll use the time period that you have for doing revision. That is a very important aspect of your preparation. So do not skip on that. On that note, very good morning to everybody who has tuned in live. Hello Shubham. On that note, if you are someone who is also watching me for the very first time, then I am Kushagra Goyal, a graduate from National University, a Masters in Economics, and you can reach out to me on my Telegram channel. But before you do that, if you are someone who wants to avail and be like the toppers who have succeeded in the examination at the earliest, then this is your today is literally your last chance to do that, because today is the last date of our Unlock 20 offer, where you all can avail a 20% discount while being part of all these batches, that is Success Law, Mission NLU and Let's Crack CLAT AILET, to be part of the 2023 preparation wagon. So if you are someone who is looking for it, then do not waste any more time. Subscribe at the earliest. Avail almost 60,000 rupees of savings on your overall subscription based on your target. And this is available on both Plus and Iconic. That is, you will be able to receive physical notes, previous year questions, compendium material at your doorstep, and all you have to do is use the code KUSHGK. उस कोड को यूज़ करके you can subscribe and take a 6 month या उससे above का subscription. 6 month का लेने पे you will get 1 month extra free. So on that note, do not waste too much time. Subscribe at the earliest. Avail live mentorship plus doubt solving plus priority in classes through this program. And if you have any other queries, you can call us at 8585858585. And for updates from Unacademy, it is Unacademy_CLAT. And for updates from my side, it is Kushagra Goyal_Unacademy. On that note, let's begin. Very good morning, Radhika, Abhineet, Vivek, Urvashi, Raviraj, Nyayika, Deepika, Damanjeet. Very good morning. So yesterday, as we had discussed, the 44th Chess Olympiad in Tamil Nadu opened up at and this is the first time that India is hosting it. The Prime Minister and the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu is there at the ceremony. Okay, nothing. So we have already talked about it multiple times, but nevertheless, the more I stress, the more important it is. It is the first time India is hosting the 44th Chess Olympiad, which happened for the first time in 1927. Okay, and it is taking place in Chennai at the National Stadium in Chennai, where the torch of the Olympiad was lit up to open the Olympiad. Okay, then we move on. We have this news here. Biden and Xi Jinping hold talks amid Taiwan row. This is the first phone call conversation between China and USA that has happened. Now this is all part of political posturing, okay, and there is nothing of examination relevance in this news. Nothing of examination relevance here, so you don't have to bother too much. Then on the right hand side, Partha Chatterjee out of Bengal. This is. Then we move on to other national news. Nothing of note here. More protests, political news. Now this one. Date of clearance lapses. Delhi CM Singapore visit off. This was the UN World Cities Summit that Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, had been invited to attend, but he will not be able to go. Okay, because the Lieutenant Governor has not allowed him to visit it. So it is the World City Summit and this is taking place in Singapore. Okay, so that is the only thing to be noted here. Then Amarnath Yatra, a soul-stirring spiritual sojourn. This is about the trouble people face to reach the cave, how much you can see the precarious route that people have to walk through this. Okay, 2 environmental tragedies have happened during the yatra this year. So this one is tracing the route of the yatra. Nothing of examination point of view here. Then we move on. The nights, nothing of note. Then we come to the editorial section. So the first editorial on the left hand side. Narrow view, the Supreme Court on PMLA fails to protect the personal liberty from draconian provisions. So this is a comment on the judgment that has been given by the Supreme Court, and it states that the court has unreasonably placed pedestal on why we should have money laundering laws and how we should have money laundering laws. So there is a difference that the editorial is trying to bring, that so the editorial states that our court has focused on why do we have it, and their answer for this is that there is an international commitment on us to do so. There is an international commitment कि हमें we have to prevent money laundering happening from Indian territory, that part. Okay, but how do we have it? How is it affecting the rights of the individuals has been kept below this international commitment priority. Okay, that fundamental rights of people of India. Process of are all subservient to the international commitment that we have made. This is the crux of the argument that is being made. Now, the editorial says that this is a narrow view. When we say or use the phrase narrow, then we are believing that this is a myopic one. It should have been broad one, because a narrow view will not encompass all the rights. That is the focus that the author is trying to bring in here. Okay. Then we come to the second one, much needed bailout. The BSNL needs state help to fulfill its social role in rural areas and disaster relief. There is one reason why we do not have a lot of competition in rural areas for mobile telephony. Why? Because of something mentioned in this is average expenditure per user. For example, I am a user of telecom services. I am, let's say, using Jio, Airtel. How much revenue am I generating for them on a monthly basis? The editorial says that the expenditure, let's say, an urban area user spends and a rural area user spends is much difference. And because the focus of companies is on revenue generation, they miss out on rural areas. Precisely why we do not have many telecom services in rural areas. So many of areas are not yet connected with internet or have 4G mobile telephony. So in both that regard, thus the focus is on the state to fulfill the obligation. The state has to do it. So if the private sector is not doing it, the state has to fulfill the obligation. And how can the state do it? BSNL is the answer. And why does the state need to do it? To protect or bridge the digital divide. To bridge the digital divide that has been there. Okay, इसको bridge करने का there is no other way apart from the state to do it. So now it is first part of the editorial is discussing that how BSNL has lost revenue, why it is making losses, and now what will be the revival package about it, what is the social responsibility on BSNL to do it. Okay, that's about it. One thing to be noted down is the nature of BSNL. I'm sure all of you are aware of it. The nature of BSNL is that it is a public sector undertaking, PSU. Okay. Then we come to what numbers do not reveal about tiger conservation. Now, why are we talking about it is because today is Global Tiger Day. Okay. Okay, Global Tiger Day, and now the author is saying that our overall conservation efforts of tiger is paying off. By 2005, we had reached 1,511 tigers only. Now the number has increased to almost 40%. By that, we are approximately 2,000 some tigers we are there in our country now. But then the author is saying ki what happens if there is isolation in tiger population. Let's say there are 3 different states where tiger population is there. Okay, these tigers are now not traveling from this reserve to this one or that reserve to this one. Okay, the point is this will result in inbreeding. The moment we start inbreeding or start getting married or making children within our same genome sequencing, it makes us genetically weaker, more subservient, more susceptible to diseases, more susceptible to a complete wipeout. This is the reason why Gir Forest Reserve, there has been a huge demand that Asiatic lions should also be moved to other jurisdictions across the country. They should be rehabilitated into some other areas to prevent a complete wipeout. Because if let's say something happens to tiger population here, or a disease spreads, the entire population will just go away. Okay, so the author is saying that we need to ensure corridors between tiger conservation to make sure that such kind of events are not happening, because in specific areas such as Simlipal in Rajasthan, there is a lot of inbreeding happening, which is leading to isolation of big cats and makes them more susceptible to diseases. Okay, now in relation to this, what we have to note is National Tiger Conservation Program. In the year 1972, Government of India launched this, okay, wherein, or what is also known as Project Tiger. Okay. Project Tiger was launched for specific tiger conservation. You all must have read it in your social sciences in school also, so I am not delving too detailed into it. And we have tiger reserves that are created across the country. That is all. Okay. Then we move on to the main editorial, a growing disengagement with Gandhi's ideas. This is about political comment on how the ideas of Mahatma Gandhi are taking a lower position in the society in this time period. It's a comment on that. If you are interested in political understanding of how ideologies function, then you can give this a read. Okay. This is a very interesting article written by Seema Chishti, which you can read about political comments if you are interested in this. Okay, from exam point of view, not so. So for your generic reading. All right. Then we move on to, is environmental performance index really faulty? So a new index came out recently by Yale and Columbia University students. Okay, environmental performance index of 2022. This is a different one to the environmental index that is created by German Watch. It's a different one. This one stated that India is placed last with low scores across all indicators. Okay, so it's a comment on whether this is actually true, how much environmental performance work are we doing. Okay, such faulty or for the first time indexes are not usually asked in this examination, so it's something you can avoid. Then we come to the article here. After the referendum, the challenges of a power grab in Tunisia. So Tunisia, a country in North African region, right on the onset of the Mediterranean Sea, it is south of Mediterranean, there has been a power grab by the president. Now, I'm just drawing a little bit of history map. All right, so this is the flow chart that we have in the explainer here. The challenges of a power grab in Tunisia. Now, in the year 2011-12, there was a revolution known as the Arab Spring or Jasmine Revolution in Tunisia. This led to these were peaceful democratic protests in Tunisia, which culminated in a new constitution coming in. Okay. Now, this new constitution brought in a similar structure to India and India's constitution, whereas the president kept control over the military while the prime minister dealt with domestic issues. So it's an arrangement where, and both these leaders are elected by the people. Full universal adult franchise. All the adults are voting for them. So very good. There is no religious identity of the state also. Fair enough. So a very democratic constitution is brought in. But democracies can be messy. For example, in the time period of 1996 to 1999, we had 3 national elections in the span of 4 years. And again, we were unable to get a stable government, and that's when we had a coalition. So Those times were also seen as policy paralysis, government decisions were getting delayed, things were not going that well. Eventually, coalition government came and we steadied the ship. But now in Tunisia, what happened? 2014 से लेके 2019 तक, the governments have been changing. Almost 6 prime ministers changed, 3 presidents changed, no stable government. You can't check who is to be held accountable for your situation. So after the COVID-19 pandemic, the Kais Saied, who is the president of Tunisia, he issued an emergency decree and suspended the government. He also suspended the constitution. And now he is making amendments to the constitution and has gotten a new referendum on the new constitution. In the new constitution, the president is supreme. Who is supreme? The president. Okay. So in that relation, the explainer is questioning. First, it is tracing the history of Arab Spring. Those kind of questions are not relevant for us, so I am not discussing that. The relevant part of it is this purge. Okay. That what will be the future of it? How will it affect the people? What could be the scenario? Will it be effective or not? Those are the things that are discussed here. Okay. On that note, then we come reviving BSNL and telecom market. So iske andar the notes you don't have to take down. The only 2 things that you can make is who has brought in this. So President Kais Saied, of which country? Tunisia. A little bit of history of Arab Spring you can note down. New constitution. All right. Okay, so those are the things you have to note down. Now, reviving BSNL in a competitive telecom market. What will be the challenges? How is this money enough? What will be the ways to go around? That's all. Then nothing of note here. Then more political news. More MPs of Rajya Sabha have now been suspended. Almost 23 out of the total opposition strength of 90. 23 of them have already been suspended in the Rajya Sabha. Okay. And then you have the news here. China warns against Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. This is now, why is this happening? Or what is the history of this Taiwan-China thing? So in 1949, what we today know as China was known as mainland China. This was now controlled by the CCP or the Chinese Communist Party. Whereas in 1949, what is known as the Chinese Taipei or Taiwan was controlled by Socialist Chiang Kai-shek. Since then, they have been Chinese Taipei and mainland China. Okay. Which is controlled by the CCP. Alright. They have been calling, so the Chinese believe that Taiwan is part of them, whereas Taiwan says it is not. They are separate entities altogether. And this is the tussle that they are facing. Okay. In the year 1979. Okay. The mainland China, that is part of the CCP, okay, they were the ones who were finally recognized by the world as China, okay, and Taiwan was now seen, was devoid of this position, okay. Since then, there has been tussle about this key, which will be, is Taiwan independent or not, okay. This has been in question since then. Taiwan's independence has been a point of question. China doesn't allow it, and the Taiwanese people want it. So this is the reason why it is now seen as a, you could say, a soft belly of the Chinese, okay. This is the tussle issue that they have. Now US is stoking it more and more so as to gain more credence in areas next to China that is being seen as a threat to the Chinese, okay. Then Colombo denies reports on Chinese ship. Now Indian government has been assisting the Sri Lankan people throughout their crisis, but here India believes that there is a Chinese ship which is going to dock in Sri Lanka very recently, and the purpose of it is to study the entire Indian Ocean. It is basically China's way to get a stronghold in the region and also continue to have control in the waters of Sri Lanka, which is very close to Indian waters, which is a problem for India. So this is the story about that. अब इसके अंदर we need to only note the name of the ship that may be happening. Where will it arrive? It will happen at the Hambantota port and is part of the Belt and Road Initiative Sri Lanka. Okay. The name of the ship is Yuan Wang 5. Alright. Then we have news of no plans to set up committee for uniform civil code. This is part of Article 44 of the Indian Constitution, which is a directive principle of state policy. So it is non-justiciable. If you may do it. Alright. Then government worried about teen pregnancies. The number of that is on the rise. It leads to fertility problems for girls, and that is a problem. Okay. Then we move on. To international news. So in international news, the one that is important is this one. UNSC condemns Myanmar execution. So UNSC has China also, and this is the first time they have given out a common consensus statement that they denounce these executions. So China, which has stood by Myanmar throughout the coup of 1.5 years, for the first time at international level has called out the actions of the military. Now this is only a calling out. It does not mean that UNSC is going to sanction Myanmar, but it is a step to create international pressure on them. Alright. Then we move on. Apart from this, Oil refineries, daily fuel price reset, nothing of this is important for us. Then in the world of sports, we have news that Sebastian Vettel, who is a Formula 1 driver from Germany, he will be retiring. He's a 4-time world champion, and he will be retiring from the sport to focus more on his family. Okay, so 4-time world champion from the year 2010 to 2013. He won his 4 world championships actually at the Indian Grand Prix, which used to happen at the Budh International Circuit. So that's why he's the most successful driver of the Indian Grand Prix. Alright, then we come futile to look beyond United States for gold. Russian are not participating in it, and the best chances of winning gold is for US. That is the chance at the Olympiad. Apart from this, the Commonwealth Games, shooting could get another shot to present its case before. So shooting is not part of the Commonwealth Games this year. Will it make a return? That is the question that is being discussed. Then we move on. Apart from this, nothing of note for us. So on that note, what to note down in today's newspaper? China, Taiwan issue. Also, surprisingly, the newspaper has no news whatsoever of the handing over of India's indigenous aircraft carrier to the Navy. Probably they'll have it tomorrow. If it doesn't have it, we'll do it separately on our own. Okay? There is no news in the newspaper about India's indigenous aircraft carrier number 1, which will also be named as INS Vikrant. Okay, so no news about it in the paper. If there is no news tomorrow also, I'll put it out for you separately. Okay, so don't worry about that. IAC 1 INS Vikrant. It is at the Kochi shipyard that we have built it. 72% of its content is Indian. All components have been procured from India or created in India only. Okay. Okay, so these are the things to be noted down in the newspaper today. Now, tomorrow, that is on Saturday, we will not have the newspaper analysis. We will now see each other on Monday. That is the 1st of August में हमारी अब मुलाकात होगी on the newspaper analysis. We will not be having it tomorrow. And I couldn't see your questions until now. Oh, I was not getting chat messages. Hi Veena, hello Khushi, hi Sita, hello Monalisa, hi Adarsh. Can I please explain the difference between a lawyer and a prosecutor? A lawyer is any counsel. Okay, so let's use this part. A lawyer is any counsel. Like for example, you graduate. Prosecutor is the one that is fighting the case for the state. A prosecutor is a person who fights the case for the state. Okay. Then what is NTCP? National Tiger Conservation Program. How many countries are part of Abraham Accord? 5. Sir, what is the current form of government? Our current form of government is a parliamentary system of governance. India is a parliamentary democracy. Okay. I was not getting your messages only. I just got them all right now. Okay. Will there be a newspaper quiz tomorrow? Yes, we will have everything tomorrow, but not the analysis. I will update the schedule in the Telegram channel. We will just not have the YouTube session. We will have the quiz. Okay. So do not miss out. The quiz will for today also happen at 11:10 a.m. The quiz will still happen, all right? So don't miss out on that. And once again, last reminder to all of you, if you want to study your GK from me, then enroll at the Success Law batch, which is for 2023 aspirants. And the best part is you are able to avail a 20% discount on the overall subscription. So make sure that you take your savings home, use the code KUSHGK to subscribe. And if you want physical compendium, notes, material, everything, then take the iconic category notes. Okay, this is also available on Plus, but you will not get live mentorship plus doubt solving plus priority in class. And if you take 6 months, you'll get 1 month. For 12, you'll get 3, and for 24, you'll get 6 months free. So make sure you avail of this offer at the earliest. Zyada late mat karo. All right. On that note, thank you so much. To connect with me, updates about classes, the link for the 11:10 a.m. quiz, everything is on my Telegram channel, that is Kushagra Goyal _Unacademy. On that note, if you want to attend the last of the Ask Me Anything session is happening today at July 29, and there is a doubt solving session calendar that has been put out for you. So for specific doubts, you can attend these specific sessions. On that note, thank you so much everyone. अगर आपको ये analysis अच्छा लगा है तो please press the like button, share it with your friends to get it the maximum number of views. And if you are a subscriber to the channel, if you are new to the channel, do subscribe to it. On that note, thank you so much. Monday को मिलेंगे, तब तक अपना ध्यान रखो. Take care, do your revisions and stay at it. We'll crack it together. Bye bye.